Well, I came on here a moment just to show a few more little steps as to how I randomly carved these doves. And we know that we kind of got this much out last time around. There's a point where we're going to go along, try to work on the little tail here to try to get the little place in where we just kind of work the way right in where we kind of put in some time and some work, and then kind of put in a little time where we're going to flatten the tail out as it should be for a dove, and kind of work our way about this. I remember some time ago, watching one of those National Geographic Predators of the Wild videos. I tell you, first of all, I'll say that I used to see them advertised on TV when I was a kid, about 11 or 12 years old. Wasn't allowed to get them then because, just little as I was, somebody knew I'd be upset. So I'd say probably by the time I got into high school and had money and worked a job, I was able to afford many more of them, and several of them were out of print by that time, so I got what I could still get in print. And as I got older and eBay and Amazon came out, there were a lot of used copies of a lot of other ones that I got on there and ordered. Probably watched them for as long as I could, and now all of those episodes are on a YouTube channel called Forgotten Documentaries. If the channel is still around, I mean, I watched it on there last time I checked when it was. So here we got these little tails done out. But one thing I wanted to mention was that on the one about African survival, they show how these turtle doves go near a river, and they have predators both above and below the water. Right above the water is a little heron that takes the turtle dove into its beak and drowns it by dunking its head under water so it can eat it. And then as the turtle dove goes to the side, to the reservoir to drink, there are terrapins that are underneath the water that come up and snap their jaws at the dove. That's their enemy below. And they even show on the video how the terrapins have to stay in the water because they have predators out on the land. And there's a place where the terrapins start snapping this turtle dove, and it kind of keeps flying and flapping its wings till it gets so far from the water that the terrapins have to return to the water for their own safety, but the dove was already injured and there was no chance of survival. So, as we see, little work comes along this way. Make things like we do. I say, there's kind of like, we got one wing here. We're going to move along, take care of this other little wing too. There was one thing I was working on yesterday. I wasn't able to video it because it was a project where, I just kind of had to hurry up and use the sander while I could. It's just a hard time to use power tools right now, and hard time to really film myself doing them because we just got so much going on at the house with the little baby niece who's scared to death of the noises. And so little things in life we just kind of have to tolerate for each other, and sometimes we do have to kind of tolerate other people and tolerate children and the fact that they have little fears with things they're not used to, and so we all kind of gotta be where we can all just kind of watch out for each other, take care of each other like we do. I say that this is where I've got the wings coming in, making the little dove, so it's going to have them rounded off out to the sides and along the edges, I say. Oh, and oh, for some work that we do in this life, time shall only tell what we've got in our hands next. Come on, people. God knows what all He sees. Many things are things He created, including the birds in the air and fish in the sea. Finally, this is how I've gotten the dove to turn out. Perhaps there's probably going to be a better way to hang it, I think. Better than what I thought it would be. Maybe kind of drill the hole diagonally here and have a little piece of leather to hang up just like that. I think we're going to go along, take care of this other wing here, try to put the little work we do into what we make. There's little anxieties coming this year because I've got some stuff that I'm hoping to sell, but not so sure that I will. So we don't know how that's going to be, how that's going to go, how that's going to last, but we all just got to say that we can always hope for the best. Some of these creatures I made, they were kind of like for a little game farm I set up in my room. Not a real game farm, but kind of like a little game farm of art animals was kind of what I was making, and kind of like where I could select my own animals I wanted in it and things. But like we say, you know, sometimes you just kind of get to where you've had a piece for years, you valued it for years, and after a few years you finally get to a point where you're finally ready to try to sell the piece, make a little good money off of it, see where it goes. That's kind of what I've done with my Intarsia pieces, and even as far as little other work I've done, I've come up with a little couple pieces of chestnut that were of a good piece from which to make little kudu horns, and kind of sawed out a few other scraps from which to kind of make the kudu heads, and probably going to saw out some more from which to make little bodies for the kudus. And I'd say that it's just going to be a little work to come its way, make it so we're all going to see a little brightening up coming through. Blessed days, blessed nights. Oh, the light of the day. It's coming, it's coming. And I say, this little birdie, this little dove of wings, oh, it's just a little object of prey to so many creatures. Could be a target to a cat or anything else, to a fusa, to a civet, just about a genet, anything that would prey on it, I say. That there are some predators in the wild that are going to prey on anything small. I say we kind of got the work done along here. I took my rotary tool back over to the shop yesterday to kind of work on some things I was doing over there. Don't know when I'm going to get it out here. My niece should be coming over in a little bit, and can't really have it out running it, making the noise around her, so we don't know when we're going to get to that part of the video, or even if that part of the work is going to be on the video. But I will just say that if nothing else, there's a little thing we're going to do here, kind of make little lines up around here and make it so we're going to see the beak come along the way, and try to line up the eyes to either side. And I mean, I've even carved a couple of doves out of basswood. I carved one for my grandfather, one for my great aunt, and they were just people who probably enjoyed the image of them. So we've kind of got a little work to come along here, make it so we've brightened things up so much more, and see how little work we kind of come to do to make these things a little nicer, brighter images. Come down to where we put in the little pupil eyes and show a little bit here, and think while I am at it, might even go over and try to stop the video just long enough, or maybe this one has already been long enough, so we'll hopefully get around to doing the rotary tool part in the next one, and hope you'll continue watching. Take care and stay safe.